Hello everyone, welcome to Semi Homesteading with Abby. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. I want to take a second to explain what this video is about because a lot of it is just me frantically running around the kitchen trying to get dishes prepared, and that is because today we hosted a peach party. Now, the reason for this was that I live in Colorado and Palisade peaches are something that we look forward to every year. They're grown in the western part of Colorado and they're always known to be the juiciest and biggest peaches there are. And so we ordered a box, an 18-pound box of Palisade peaches, and they came in last weekend. So I thought as part of my homesteading, entertaining, like having house parties sort of vibe, that it would be a good idea to host a peach party. All the members of my family also got a lot of peaches, so they all had some to spare, and so a lot of my family members also brought a peach recipe. But as part of this peach party, I wanted to make a few peach desserts. My goal was also to make peach lemonade, but the time got away from me and I was not able to do that. So I made like peach bars, which are similar to lemon bars, but with peaches instead. Then I made mini peach pie bombs, they're called, which are essentially just biscuits that wrap pie filling. You air fry them and they're like a little mini handheld pie. So I prepped for this party this morning. I accidentally slept until 8 o'clock, so I got a really late start and I had 2 desserts to make. Plus I wanted to serve just fresh peaches, other fresh fruit, and I had to line up all the sides and get everything prepped. So this is the video of me prepping for the peach party. It was hard to take a lot of video during the actual party because it was just chaotic and everyone was having a lot of fun. We also had like a home church service sort of thing before. So I'll show you a little bit of the aftermath of what we were all eating and things like that. But it was very fun. I highly recommend doing a peach party. And I think this is gonna be an annual tradition for us. So enjoy my chaotic preparations of the peach party. Alright, this was the state of absolute disarray our kitchen was in when I woke up this morning because we got groceries delivered and they ended up showing up at 11:20 p.m. So I just put away the refrigerated stuff and left all the rest out. I kind of regretted that this morning, but it is what it is. So the first thing I had to do was do the dishes, put it on the quick cycle because, we're on a time crunch. It's 8:30 a.m. We have only 150 minutes till everyone comes over. Everyone's coming over at 11. So the first thing I'm making is this peach bar dish, which is basically like a lemon bar, but with peaches in it instead. So I am mixing up baking powder, salt, cinnamon, sugar, and flour. And basically you're supposed to mix it all up. And I was supposed to use a pastry blender to blend the butter, but I figured it's really not that deep, not that important. So I just cut it up with a knife and then dumped it all in my bowl and then put it in my stand mixer for an extended period of time. Okay, once it was all kind of blended up to a point that I felt good about it, I took an egg, and they said to lightly beat the egg before you put it in, but I thought that was just gonna be another bowl that I would have to wash. So I made one of those little wells in the flour, beat it up with a spoon, and then, put it back into the KitchenAid blender because I just don't want to wash any more dishes, honestly. I had to do like 2 loads of dishes before everyone came over anyway, so, the result turned out the same. Basically, you're supposed to be able to kind of pinch the dough and for it to be crumbly, but packed together a little bit. So the goal was accomplished. Then I put about half of the dough mixture into the bottom of a greased baking pan and spread it out and kind of packed it down to make the base crust of the peach bars. Okay, then we are moving on to cutting up the peaches. This recipe honestly was pretty misleading with prep time because they said a very short prep time, but then I realized I had to literally cut and peel 5 peaches, which took a very long time in and of itself. So make sure to allow yourself some extra time if you have to peel the peaches. I worked through a few different methods of actually peeling the peaches through this whole process. One of them was just with this knife here. Another one was with a peeler. Another one I heard is blanching. That works really well, but you have to wait for the water to come to a boil and then put it in an ice bath and all that. I don't know if any way is necessarily ideal, so do whatever works for you. I think for me, the best thing is just a knife, to be honest. Like, it's painful any way you slice it. So I'm dicing them up, just kind of rough cutting them and putting them to a bowl. I'm gonna mix it with a lot of other dry ingredients and put that as kind of the filling of the peach bars. You know, I could have shown you probably 20 minutes of me cutting peaches, but I will save you the pain, honestly. So next we add some sugar, some cornstarch, and then we're gonna add some lemon juice to make sure the peaches kind of stay nice and don't brown up or anything. And we add some cinnamon, and we mix this all together with my handy dandy spurtle, the best kitchen utensil there is. The commercials do not lie. And this together makes the filling. Okay, once all of that is mixed together, you take the peach filling and dump it over your crust in the other pan that you have already prepared. Spread it evenly, and then, you know, the recipe said to do this technique where you basically squeeze the crust, the remaining half of the crust, over the top and leave kind of big clumps. In hindsight, I really would not do this. It took a long time for it to brown up, and those chunks didn't brown up at all. So in hindsight, I would probably just evenly crumble some of that crust over the top and not do those clumps. Okay, now I am just cutting up some peaches for the pie filling for the peach pie bombs. Now, it said it was optional to use the skin or to not, and honestly, I was so over peeling the skin off of peaches this morning that I was like, I'm leaving the skin. I don't care. I'm so glad it said it was optional. So I just put this skillet over medium heat, and you're going to use cornstarch, lemon juice, cinnamon, vanilla, and brown sugar. Oh, and granulated sugar. And you're going to mix all of those ingredients together, dump in your peach slices, and it's honestly kind of like making jam. You just put it over medium heat and simmer it for, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes. You do the liquid without peaches for a couple minutes and then add the peaches and simmer it for about 5 to 7 minutes. Before you add the peaches, you just simmer the liquid mixture over medium heat for a couple minutes, and that is the time I use to go do the cleanup. My least favorite part of cooking, honestly, but you gotta do it. So we're doing that during this little bit of downtime. Then after that is coming to an actual good simmer, should look something like this. You're gonna put in all the rest of your peach slices and let that cook a little bit, make sure they all soften. And it says that you shouldn't do it to the point where they're mushy, but you should be able to like break them up and the peaches should become soft. Okay, once you have your good pie filling, you take it off the heat, let it cool, and now we're going to prep the pie bomb shells. Now, this is actually much easier than I thought because you can literally just use Pillsbury Southern home-style biscuits. And for each biscuit, it comes in a pack of 8. You take each biscuit and split it in half. So really you're making 16 peach pie bombs with each can of biscuits. Now, I didn't know how many peaches I would be cooking, how much pie filling I could make. So I actually bought 4 cans of these biscuits. Turns out I only needed 1 because each one makes 16. There's like 14 members of my family, so I think everyone got one. But if you're doing a big party, definitely buy a lot of biscuits. However, I made so much pie filling that I could have used a whole other can of Pillsbury biscuits. Okay, so once your pie crust or each biscuit is rolled out to 4-inch rounds, you're gonna melt some butter and kind of spread that all around the outside edge, and you put the pie filling in the middle and make it into a little ball. At least that's what the recipe said. However, as you can see, that first one epically failed because I put way too much pie juice into it, And these ball forms are just not easy to make. This one was kind of another fail. I mean, it was better than the first one, but I couldn't really close the pie. Like, it was just a really hard shape. I put it into the air fryer, but it was kind of still opening as I put it in. So I soon realized that the actual best shape for these is just kind of like a calzone. So if you just fold it over in half one time and pinch the edges, and instead of using butter to seal the edges, you just let the, peach juice seal the edges, it actually works really well. Okay, at this point we had about an hour and a half left until everyone came, and so I had to do a whole other round of dishes. I had to put all these mugs away. It was starting to get stressful. I was starting to really sweat, but at this point my peach pies were done. As you can see, the ones that looked like the calzones looked much better. At this point, my peach bars are out of the oven. As you can see, it didn't really brown up, and I didn't catch it on camera, but I actually did an egg wash to kind of brown them up, put them back under the broiler for a few minutes. At the time that I took those out of the oven, it was 10:30 and people were coming at 11. I did not do peach lemonade, which I had told everyone that I was going to do, and I realized I needed to call an audible because there was absolutely zero time to prepare this peach lemonade. So instead, I just took the best looking peaches out of the remaining ones that I had left, which I still have about 10 left, honestly. And I decided to just make a fruit platter. I had a watermelon, a pineapple, and I cut up fresh slices of peaches, and it actually turned out really well. So here is the final product before people came over. We had the fruit platter, chips, hamburger buns. This is the aftermath. So people had eaten kind of all this stuff, but we had pork that my family had brought over. We had peach salsa. We had peach ice cream. It was honestly amazing. So all in all, I think it was a success. Clearly I'm sweaty. I need to wash my hair. My hair's all greasy because I was running around dripping sweat, but it all got done. It was very, very fun. Everyone's peach dishes were an absolute hit. We all were stuffed to the brim with peach desserts. So again, would highly recommend doing this, especially if you're in an area where you can get Palisade peaches or just very juicy peaches. But this will definitely be an annual thing that we will be doing. I love doing themed parties. We usually do like a fall fest and a Christmas fest. And so I think that for our summer festivities, this is definitely going to be a new staple. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more homesteading, homekeeping, party planning videos. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye everyone.